Just a little bit of history here, you should know this. So Jafar as-Sadiq had 12 sons, 12 sons and daughters. The eldest of them, the eldest son, Jafar as-Sadiq, the eldest son, his name was Ismail. And Ismail lived to the age of 35 or so. He married, he had children, and Ismail died, and Jafar is still alive. So then the next son is Musa al-Kadhim. Okay, so Ismail and Musa are brothers. When Ja'far dies, the followers of the Ahl al-Bayt, the Shia to Ali, they differed. A small group said, the eldest son is Ismail. So we're going to continue through Ismail. And that eventually became Ismaili Islam. This is Ismail, the son of Ja'far, right? And the Ismailis, every Indian Pakistani knows, the Aga Khani and the Bohra. And the Arabs know the Duruz, and these are the three Ismaili sects that exist in our time. So they go back to Ismail, the son of Ja'far, small segment of the Ummah. The bulk of their followers, they followed Musa al-Kadhim. Musa al-Kadhim lived after his father for another 20 years. So Musa al-Kadhim becomes the next, if you like, Imam. Now, you have to understand, what is an Imam for this time frame? For us as Sunnis, and I'm not being at all polemical, I'm being factual here. We have to understand these great scholars were viewed as imams by their own followers. And there's nothing wrong with this. What did they mean by imam? They meant religious leader and a worthy political rival to the corrupt khulafa. There was no notion, this is our understanding, of supernatural powers. There was no notion of ilm al-ghayb. There was no notion of Allah has chosen you and you're ma'soom. This is our interpretation. So we have to acknowledge there was political rivalry. And lots of mainstream Sunnis, because we would view them as Sunnis, respected the Ahl al-Bayt as being more worthy than the Umayyads or the Abbasids. And so, at this time frame, the clear distinction between what we call Sunni and Shia didn't quite exist. You had a whole spectrum. You had many people who we would consider Sunni, but they say that, and who, I mean, honestly, put yourself in their shoes. Who do you think should be the Khalifa? Hussein or Yazid? Back then. I mean, go back to that time frame. Whose heart would you be inclined towards, right? But Khalifa here means you're worthy. Now later on, the later groups are going to come and say, Allah has chosen you, and Allah has made you ma'soom, and Allah has given you powers. And we say, no, that's where we draw the line. It's one thing to say, I think this is a better candidate. And that we find. Imam Malik, Abu Hanifa even, there was sympathy to the Ahl al-Bayt, believe it or not. That doesn't make them Shia technically. You understand what I'm saying here? It doesn't make them theologically Shia, right? I'm being factual, I'm not being polemical here. We have to explain this to the youth so that they understand. Later on, segments came, and these segments said, Allah has chosen these people and we have to consider them to be imams. Not they might be better candidates, but rather they are the hidden imams and they are chosen by Allah and they have this and they have that. And we say we don't believe this. This is where we draw the line. And in fact, Imam al-Dhahabi mentions these notions existed in Iraq. One of the Iraqis came to Medina and asked Ja'far as-Sadiq, what is your position about Abu Bakr as-Siddiq? Do you consider that he usurped authority from your ancestor Ali? He goes, Abu Bakr is my grandfather in two ways. Have you ever seen any man who curses his own grandfather? Anybody who dissociates from Abu Bakr, tell him to dissociate from me. We have this in our books. The Ja'far as-Sadiq says, how can I dissociate from my own grandfather? I expect Allah's shafa'ah through Abu Bakr just as much as I expect Allah's shafa'ah through Ali. This is what Ja'far as-Sadiq says. I expect Allah's shafa'ah that I'm Abu Bakr's son just as much as I expect that I'm Ali radiallahu anhu. This is something I'm honored with. So from our perspective, Ja'far as-Sadiq loves all of the Sahaba. How can he not when Abu Bakr is his double grandfather, Umar is his, Ali is his double grandfather, and he doesn't have this notion of divine appointment. But maybe he thought, these people aren't good politicians, and if I were in charge, I'd do a better job. Okay, what's wrong with that? And honestly, he would have done a better job. Who was going to deny that? In terms of taqwa and ikhlas, he would have done a better job. So this was their version of Shi'ism, not later on